The digital production buzz at the 2015 NAB Show is made possible by supporting sponsors. Shutterstock, a global marketplace for royalty-free images and videos. With over 2 million royalty-free HD and 4K video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. And by One Beyond, leaders in digital video systems for streaming, archive, and storage. Additional sponsors include LarryJordan.com, helping media pros find work, improve their skills, and keep clients happy.
Beaming live from the 2015 NAB Show in Las Vegas. Media, technology, news, insight. Connecting media professionals around the globe. This is the NAB Show BuZZ Live.
Welcome to Day 3 at the 2015 NAB Show. We are live here in South Lower Hall, booth 11505. My name is Larry Jordan, and this is the Digital Production Buzz, the world's longest-running podcast covering media production, post-production, and distribution around the world. And the guests we've got for our third show today are just amazing. We start with Wes Phillips. He's the Chief Executive Officer of SmallHD, talking about on-camera monitoring systems. Joseph Nilo is the head of training for FXFactory. FXFactory is ubiquitous in effects on multiple platforms. We're going to take a look at what some of their new releases are in today's show. And Warren Ehrenstein is the Senior Vice President of Business Development for PrimeStream, which is a new way of asset management and automation that all of us need to pay attention to. And thinking of paying attention, I have enjoyed seeing all the images that are on Vine and Instagram and Twitter of people coming by the booth and taking pictures and sending them up to the web. It's been a lot of fun looking at them and watching the captions as well. In addition, please join us at nabshowbuzz.com for our live evening report that'll be posted at 7 p.m. tonight. There's lots more to come, and we're starting with SmallHD right after this. This is Larry Jordan. I'd like to introduce you to one of our sponsors, Shutterstock.com. They're a global marketplace for royalty-free images, videos, and music. Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. Whether it's for your website, a publication, an ad, video, or any other type of project, you can choose from over 2 million royalty-free HD, even 4K stock video clips. These include time-lapses, aerials, green screens, and model-released video. Take 25% off your first purchase. Go to Shutterstock.com and use offer code NABBuzz15. That's NABBUZZ15. And if you're attending NAB in person, visit Shutterstock at booth C1727 in the Central Hall. It's all at Shutterstock.com. SmallHD began with the mission of creating on-camera monitoring for a variety of digital cameras, but why that was necessary is something I want to find out from our next guest. Wes Phillips is the CEO of SmallHD, and Wes, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Larry.
Why was it necessary to start SmallHD?
That's a really good question. Our story is kind of an interesting one. We started a small production company a long time ago, and my friend Dale, who's co-founder of SmallHD as well, and really early on we discovered that Doritos Super Bowl contest, and we entered that, the very first one, and we ended up winning that, and that it was unbelievable. And so jobs started coming in really fast, and we were trying to up our production level, and we started looking for a high-definition monitor that could go on a camera. And we kept looking, and literally nothing existed. Even though the technology existed in those netbooks that they made back in the day, there were high-definition displays.
Now, when was the day? When are we talking?
The day was 2007.
All those long distant years, 7 years ago.
That's
It feels
right.
like forever, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
sort of. SmallHD is sort of like a time machine for me as well. It's just zipped me right to the future.
yeah,
but it's
believe
really
that.
it's been a fantastic ride. But so that sort of like opened our eyes to this market, and we kind of had this idea like, hey, maybe there's other people who'd want to buy this thing too. If we made 100 of these, maybe people would buy those. That was sort of our ambition at one point in time, and so it just sort of snowballed. And we ended up launching a few products that became very popular. We kind of changed the style of the traditional monitor. We tried to make it kind of sleek. People that we relate to, they like Apple products just because they're beautifully designed. We like to take that same approach. Creative people like to be around creative things. So that's sort of our approach to this market.
So have you sold those 100 monitors yet?
Yeah, we sold that 100 and a few hundred more. That's correct.
So show me what you've got. I noticed that you've got a camera. I need to hold it here so we
Yeah.
can get a close-up
Okay.
of it.
Yeah, go for it.
It's not that I don't trust you, you
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
But
So this is what we are
all right,
announcing at the
which
show.
way does it? Which way
sits-
does it go?
It would sit like this. Basically, it would go in your. If you're a camera operator, that's how you'd use it, like that. It would attach to your camera.
Oh, and
like
it attaches to the camera this way.
Actually, the camera it would attach into here, but you would put your signal in on this side and the power on this side.
Signals come out, camera goes in.
Yeah, this would be a 15 millimeter rod clamp or quarter 20 rods or NATO rail here. So there's several devices there. This is called the Sidefinder, and it's SmallHD's approach to a affordable, high definition, professional electronic viewfinder, and right now it's the highest resolution viewfinder in the world at 1366 by 768 resolution. That's higher resolution than 720p, which is what pretty much everything out there is. And
Most on-camera monitors are 720p.
most monitors are, and as well as particularly viewfinders. Anything with an eye cup, is a viewfinder. So that is that's what we were kind of approaching here. And the
Okay,
way
wait. You're moving too quick.
okay,
I'm shooting 1080i or 1080p.
correct, yeah.
How do I get 720 into this thing?
Well, most cameras are ahead of the curve when it comes to record resolution. I mean, we're talking about 4K, 6K, 8K here at the show. And most small displays like that don't have those resolutions. So anytime you send a signal to these, they either have to downscale that signal to the resolution of the screen, or they have to actually or you have to send a signal that is the resolution of the screen. And most of them do downscaling, and that's what ours does.
And this is new at the show. How much are you charging for it?
This is $14.99 for this package. And so the party piece, though, is that it's not just a viewfinder. This piece opens up here and becomes...
now you show me. Now
Right,
that I've...
yeah.
All right, bring
Yeah,
it back
there,
again.
Try that again.
So what he didn't explain is
Yeah.
that you can open this up like this.
Right.
And now we have...
a 5-inch full HD, that's 1080p, 1920 by 1080 resolution, 5-inch monitor. That's a sharper screen than the iPhone. It's really, really fantastic. And so really what we've designed is two devices in one with this. And
A
so
flip-out monitor.
Exactly.
And a view. This would be really good in bright light, for instance.
Correct. When the ambient light is unbearable, then the viewfinder is great. But operators have to pick the camera up above their head or drop it down low and use it, and the monitor is great for that. It's a great size. 5 inches is great. And the actual form factor of this is smaller, or at least the same size as a lot of the third-party manufacturers making EVFs that are just electronic viewfinders, sometimes with a 3-inch screen.
Now, you've used an acronym, just to be clear. EVF means?
Electronic viewfinder.
As opposed to something that's built into the camera?
Right. Well, I guess cameras can have a built-in EVF. The viewfinder comes from back in the film day when they were using optical viewfinders, which looked at a piece of ground glass which had an image projected onto it. So it was all optical. But today we use screens as the medium to see because there's a digital sensor in the camera capturing that data.
What cameras would this be good for?
Really anything that has a 3G SDI output, which is what this product offers, as well as an HDMI output.
So give me some examples, for instance. Would I use it on DSLR cameras?
Sure. Most DSLR cameras are HDMI, so you'd be able to use that input. And what's really fantastic here is that some of our shooters have to use different cameras week to week, depending on what the client wants. And a lot of them have a certain type of gear. A lot of our clients have SDI-based gear, but they can take the signal from a DSLR like the A7S, the Sony A7S, come into this and convert it in the monitor to SDI and output out the output to the devices downstream. So it's built-in conversion both ways.
So basically I've got a cable that's coming off the side of the camera that goes into the side of this, and I see batteries here. What are the batteries for?
The batteries, so most users, if they're on a smaller rig like a DSLR, need to power the product via battery, and this battery is the Canon LPE6 style, which comes out of a Canon 5D. Those batteries are used in so many things these days, and they're fairly inexpensive. We wanted to go for a battery that would provide just a good amount of life for a good price, as well as the fact that we can analyze the battery life of this battery very precisely by going with one battery, and it tells you a readout down to the percentage. That's really
so
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What website can people go to learn more about your products?
Our website is smallhd.com, and we're posting new information about this product every day. And this right now,
hold it, time out.
Okay.
That's smallhd.com, and Wes Phillips is the Chief Executive Officer of smallhd.com. Visit their website. They've got some cool monitors, and this is really nice. Wes, thanks for joining us
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Beyond loaned us the video gear we're using to present the BuZZ at NAB. We're using 3 One Beyond StreamCam PTZs for our live cameras and the One Beyond Stream Machine Pro to switch, add titles, encode, stream live, even record the show for later posting. The Stream Machine is portable, the size of a briefcase with a convenient handle, built-in screen, and keyboard. It includes 4 HD SDI inputs, so it's easy to set up anywhere and begin broadcasting. This one unit replaces all the gear used in the traditional switcher, recorder, encoder configuration. Also new at the show, the One Beyond StreamCam Auto Tracker. The Auto Tracker automatically follows a speaker with no camera operator required. One Beyond has a new way to experience a multicam event online. The One Beyond U-Switch player lets the viewer switch between cameras in their browser, live, as they watch. See all of these at onebeyond.com.
If you've ever been involved in creating effects, then you're probably familiar with a company called FXFactory. And FXFactory is like an app store for effects. And Joseph Nilo is the head of training for FXFactory. Joseph, thanks for joining us today.
It is a great pleasure to be here.
Well, describe what FXFactory is, because I discovered that it isn't what I thought it was just as recently last night at the Super Meet.
Yeah, they've been growing and changing over time, but you said it perfectly. It's an app store for visual effects. These visual effects work in Final Cut Pro 10, Motion, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. And it's just an easy way, if you're a working editor and need to find effects or a specific effect or a suite of effects quickly, using the FXFactory application is definitely the way to do it.
Well, the App Store part I kind of understood, but I thought that also FXFactory used to provide a development environment for people to create effects. Is that a true statement?
That is correct. So not only does FXFactory make their own effects, within the application you get just a whole bunch of third-party plugins. Common sense dictates all the benefits of that. FXFactory is good at what they do, but then there's Fix does keying, and Ripple Training folks do titles and callouts, and so the third-party developers get to really focus on what they do best, and it just gives you such a variety as an editor.
Now, how do you decide which companies to invite into FXFactory? Do you curate, or do you take anybody that shows up?
That's generally the business side of things. Nicholas does that, and he just over time has just collected a whole bunch of really great developers that have a passion for video. So,
well, you're the head of training What are you training?
Well, hopefully a value-added bonus of what you get when you get any of these plugins is our tutorial videos that I create for them.
But it's not your voice in a tutorial.
It is, yeah.
Really and truly?
Is, yeah.
That's very cool. The voice is a very nice voice. I
Oh,
like
thank
listening
you,
to it.
thank you. My mom thinks so too. So it's good. But yeah, we create tutorial and marketing videos for for each of the plugins that come out. So he keeps us very busy.
So you do the demo rather than the developer doing the demo. Do they write the demo and give it to you, or how do you decide what to highlight?
No, sometimes they do. We definitely collaborate with the developer. They, if I'm seeing, we have a fast turnaround, so they're kind of telling me, here's the great selling points, and I take a look at it as, especially from the context of a video editor, what do I like about this? And we script it and turn these things out, multiple ones per week.
You have that many applications, that many plugins that you're doing multiple demos a week?
Yes. At this point, it's hard even to tell a number. It's over 1,000 effects, visual effects, as part of the FXFactory experience.
For people that don't know the FXFactory software, how do they find an effect out of 1,000 effects?
There's multiple ways. You can use the FXFactory application, which will sort the effects by developer, and like I said, a lot of the developers handle their own kind of niche. So maybe you like, titling or something like that, or color correction, or looks, and you can kind of see what those developers have done. It also has a search field, so if you can search for a blur, or you can search for a look, you can search for a light. There's all sorts of different ways, and their website has a ton of great information. Which doing presentations, there's so many I used as a cheat sheet to see. Oh yeah, there's that plugin. Yeah. So.
One of the things that I like about FXFactory, because I've been running it for several years, is that there's a checkbox which you can check, and the plugin is installed, or check it and it's uninstalled. So rather than have to wade through thousands of plugins inside your application, you just simply check or uncheck the ones you want, which is a really cool feature.
Right.
And one of the other things that I like is that you provide demo versions of a lot of the plugins.
Yeah, everything is free. I mean, it's FXFactory is a free download. You can either download them individually, or you can load everything up. Try everything, with a watermarked version. And if you like it, the purchase experience, because it's like an app store, it couldn't be simpler. It's literally like an app store. Click buy, it saves your information, and then you just restart your host, and you have the plugin. You don't have to go download it. You don't have to worry about a serial number, get an email, get anything. It just makes it very easy.
So what have you got for us that's new?
So with the new version of Final Cut that came out, the Ripple training guys, who I'm sure you know very well, have released some 3D titles that they're showing off here. We're also here with Tim Dashwood, who
came by the booth earlier today. I had a chance to talk with him. We didn't put him on the air, but we'll do that next time. But he is such a great developer.
He is. Well, he's not only is he a nice guy, they call him the mad scientist, because his plugins are unbelievable. He had a line checking out his virtual reality. It's a way to monitor virtual reality footage, 360 footage, on the Final Cut Pro timeline. It kind of hurts my head. It's very beyond me. But and he's also got, in a simpler but very cool plug-in a series of effects that are kind of based on, like Star Wars, that his kids developed. So there's, lightsabers and wipes and things like that. And I kid you not, his kids made these plugins, and they're cool. They're very cool.
So we've got new plugins in support of Final Cut 10. How often do you add new stuff throughout the year?
Very often. I'm creating multiple videos per week for Nicholas of the new products. So
you're staying busy.
Yeah, very busy. And it's just been growing and growing and growing as long as I've known him and we've had a relationship. It was maybe a little bit slower back in the Final Cut Pro 7 days, but with Final Cut Pro 10, there's great developers coming forward, there's great stuff coming out, and it's just, growing exponentially.
What's some of the favorite plugins that's inside FXFactory? What's the stuff that makes you giggle as you look at it?
Yeah, I like a lot of the titling stuff. I mean, a lot of the reasons that I like Final Cut 10, if I'm bouncing back and forth between some of the different hosts, are just the ease of throwing titles on and lower thirds and having some kind of great animated, poppy visual things. But, going to the Super Meet last night, everybody wanted to come up and talk about Nodes, which is by Yanobox, which is just a crazy way to have automatic animations of data, and everybody loves that. It's saved a lot of editors, made them look really good, and and that's the job of the visual effects plugin. So that's great.
So where can people go on the web?
FXFactory.com.
It's all one word. FX, F-A-C-T-O-R-Y, FXFactory.com. If people were to check out just one plugin, what would you have them check out first?
Wow, that is so hard. Take a look at nodes. That's one of the most powerful things I've ever seen, and it'll blow your mind. And you load them up for free with the download.
The plugin is called Nodes. The software is called FXFactory. And Joseph Nilo is the head of training for FXFactory. Joseph, thanks for taking the time to join us.
A great pleasure to chat with you.
Take care. Thanks. One of the highlights of NAB is going past a booth the size of Rhode Island with the word Adobe emblazoned on it and discovering all the new tools that Adobe has released, because yet again their developers have no social life and all they're able to do is to create killer new product, and they have got some amazing stuff. Bill Roberts is the chief slave driver. He's the senior director of product management for digital video and audio products at Adobe. It's one of the highlights of talking to you, highlights for me of NAB is talking with you about the cool stuff that you guys are doing. What is Adobe up to now?
Well, in NAB is always our time to do a big release. So everything's updated.
No. The big releases is like an update. This thing is monumental. There's some stuff here I've never seen before.
Well, what you're getting to see is some of the things that have been percolating for years. One of the ones that really is it's amazing is Character Animator. It's a real-time performance capture for facial animation. That's something that Dave Simons, who started After Effects 25 years ago, has wanted to do for years and years. And he's been working on it for 2 years, quietly back at the lab. And we were able to take it public here. And it's just one of these things that's fantastic. The first time you put it up, people just smile when they see their facial actions and their words turned into a goofy puppet.
Now, let's just take a quick break. It reads your camera on your computer, reads your face, maps dots on your face, and then puts a cartoon character on top of it. And the cartoon character moves as you move your head, move your body, or move your mouth. It's ridiculous. It's going to sell millions. It's so cool. But as I understand, it's like a beta release, isn't it?
No, it's a preview. So this is a big piece of technology. So really what we want to do is, what we do best is collaborate with our customers. So it's baked enough to go out into the wild. We've worked with a lot of pre-release customers, but it's now time to start to deal with all the different pieces. So you mentioned about the camera and the microphone. What we do is we look at the shape of the mouth, and we also listen to the sound and convert the phonemes into visemes. We've tackled English, but not German, not Japanese, not Portuguese, Brazilian, whatever you got. So we got to work through those to make sure we have the right facial poses for all of those. So it's production ready, but it's not ready for all the different corners of the planet that we serve.
Oh, but it's going to be fun to develop. I can see already YouTube is going to groan under the load of videos that are going up to YouTube. So Google doesn't like you at all anymore, but that's going to be great because they're not going to have to buy more servers. But the other thing I'm really curious about is this morph thingy inside Premiere. What's that about?
It's a big release for Premiere. This is one little feature. So we're very privileged at Adobe to have pure research. And we've got a brilliant researcher, Florian, who came up with this idea that, when you're shooting interview, you edit down, you take out the ums, the ahs, you get the coherent thoughts together, and then you have to paper over with B-Reel. So she looked at other stuff in this space, and in the past, people have tried to morph just outgoing frame to incoming, and there's just not enough data to make that work. So Morph Cut is just a brilliant piece of technology, so the moment you apply it, just like a dissolve, it'll search through the entire clip, look for any frames that could actually help build a morph between. Take the real frames, and then it just morphs between those. So you end up with something which a lot of the news people we've shown it to here are kind of nervous about, but it looks like it's one coherent, continuous take.
Which is only a small part of the Premiere update. What are some of the other features you're proud of? As opposed to the features you hate. But let's talk about the ones you're proud of.
One of the ones that well, for me, I'm personally very proud because we've been pushing color for a long time. And, we had the great workflow between SpeedGrade and Premiere, but a lot of the time, if you take someone who's an editor who didn't grow up with color, when they landed in SpeedGrade, it was just too much power presented in a colorless format. So we've got the Lumetri Color Workspace, which takes all the power of a SpeedGrade, takes an interface highly inspired by Lightroom, and brings it right into the editing environment. So that is just been great fun to deliver, and the pre-release comments we got are just being amplified here. People love it because a mere mortal editor can do something that looks awesome super fast.
Now, we still have the Lumetri looks.
Oh, yeah.
So we can apply a look. So for people that really don't want to be bothered at all, you still have that simplistic approach.
Oh, for sure.
And then we can leverage the power of SpeedGrade without having to go to film school.
And the nice thing is, anything you do in Premiere, you can open up in SpeedGrade and work from that as the starting point. So editors and colorists can now speak the language of color. We've even extended it out to mobile devices. So we have something called Project Candy, which allows you talked about the looks. What if you're at the beach, glorious orange sunset? And
a day off? Bill, come on.
I'll take Friday.
Okay.
But so the orange, you're going, oh, that'd be perfect for warming up a cold, poorly lit interview. You snap it, and what it gives you is an interactive 3D histogram, which is great fun. You select the colors you want, and you actually create a look, which are immediately available for you in Premiere and After Effects in libraries. So libraries are new to the product as well.
That is so cool. What else you got that you wanted to, in the 2 minutes we got left, what else should we talk about?
Well, another one was quite fun. I had a broadcaster last year at the show, driving back from the show going, man, can you do something for retiming? It's become a huge part of our life. We take our programming, we sell it overseas, and we have to add extra commercial availabilities. And there's nothing out there that's compositionally aware, because most of the technology in this space is really about streaming video and adjusting it there.
Speeds it up or slows it down.
Yeah. So what we've come up with is a new algorithm called Time Tuner, and get Al Mooney to say that because it comes Time Tuna. What it does is it looks at the whole composition.
Yeah.
It analyzes the cuts, but it also analyzes the complexity of video. So high action areas won't get touched. High audio complexity won't get touched. Areas of low video and audio complexity will be shortened if you're shortening the piece. And all the edit points, because we know where they are, we might steal a frame or two.
It's like how Photoshop enlarges or shrinks an image based upon content, except now you're doing it for time for a piece of video.
Yeah, so it's
that is ridiculous. That is amazing.
And there's stuff all across the board. All the products get updates this time.
So how much is the upgrade going to cost?
All of our Creative Cloud customers, when we ship it, will get it for free.
And when are you going to ship it?
Every year you ask me this question, and every year I say the same thing, soon. And look to our past for hints about our future.
So soon, but not today.
Correct.
Where can people go for more information?
You can go to adobe.com or blogs.adobe.com, and that's where we're putting a lot of the information about what's being shown here.
That, in case you were wondering, is adobe.com or blogs at
blogs.adobe.com.
Blogs.adobe.com. And Bill Roberts is the Senior Director of Product Management for Digital Video and Audio Products at Adobe, and a highlight of the show. Bill, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Larry.
I've got a ton of brand new training videos showcasing all the new features in Final Cut Pro 10.2, and they're all available today. In fact, we've updated our entire Final Cut training for this release. We added more than 70 new movies covering every major and minor new feature in the software. Then I figured as long as I was recording, I added new techniques and new ways of working that I've discovered and written about in my newsletter over the years. We've updated our workflow and editing training with 31 new movies and effects with 41 new movies. This makes our Final Cut training the most comprehensive, most up-to-date, and most affordable way to learn everything about this amazing software. It's quick, it's easy, and it's complete. I'm proud of all of my training, and especially proud of this one. Get your copy today in our store at larryjordan.com, or even better, become a member of our video training library and get access to all of our training for one low monthly price. Both are incredible values. Thanks.
PrimeStream provides complete asset management and automation for broadcasters and video professors and professionals. It's late in the day. Anyway, PrimeStream is the company, and Todd Fans is the Senior Director of Technology for PrimeStream. And Todd, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Tell us what PrimeStream is. I just read the description, but I'm not totally clear on what it is you guys do.
We're a software-only company, and our primary focus is production automation management. So everything from ingest to craft edit integration to archiving retrieval, publishing, metadata tagging, logging, sports, news, rundown integration.
So would you compete with an Avid ISA system, for instance?
More probably an interplay in the sense that, ISIS involves some storage, and we tend to be more agnostic and run on top of any kind of storage platform. And on the MAM side, that can be very lightweight, but we have systems where we're doing 40 channels of HD ingest and half a dozen playouts. So at that point, we're usually on a StoreNext or Media Grid or something a little beefier.
So you're the front end that the media goes through to be able to keep track of what it is, and then you're sending it out to whatever storage system they happen to have.
Right, and we're exposing that to craft editing. We also have our own internal proxy.
Interesting
editor.
term, craft editing.
Yes.
Meaning what?
Adobe Premiere, Final Cut 7X, Media Composer, Edius. Again, we try to work well with others, and so we try to support anyone who has an API or a way to get content into it. And for us, really the rubber hits the road around edit while capture, and we support that with most codecs.
Now, those are growing files,
Right.
if I remember right. So what we're able to do is, sporting contest is going on, and we want to edit the highlights of the first quarter, but second quarter is being played, so we can pull those files into our editor and start to cut?
Exactly. Within about 30 seconds of an ingest starting, we can start subclipping it or toss the whole game over. And it won't grow in your timeline, but it'll grow inside your bin, and you can browse it inside the viewer part and then push it into your timeline.
Now, a QuickTime movie doesn't support that. So what video format are we using to be able to support a growing file? Or does QuickTime support it?
Yes, we do, and we've supported that since Final Cut 7. With Final Cut X, we also do the same. We support that with Media Composer, with XDCam, which is a rare thing in the world. But most of our users in the sports world are now on AVC Intra or ProRes. But we do support that with all the major editing platforms, either with MXF or QuickTime.
Just as an aside, how do you fool QuickTime into supporting a growing file? Because QuickTime needs to know the duration of a file before it can start editing it.
I'm not, if there was an Apple person around, I could wonder if that was under our NDA.
You're supposed to know every piece of your...
Oh, I know. They have a way of flagging a QuickTime movie, particularly under QuickTime X, and I believe it's supported under 7, where the application is aware that during a state of an atom, it is growing, and it will update.
That is so cool.
And under 7, even kind of crudely, you can just click out of the application and back, and there's a preference that says reconnect to media, I believe, and that will go and rescan the wrapper and see that the duration has changed.
See, this is why you're in charge of technology. You know all that stuff. That is so cool. So what have you got that's new at the show?
We're showing 4K ProRes playout and 4K XAVC MXF playout. We've enhanced our logger a little bit. It's a very configurable tool. You can log debates to reality shows to obviously sports, but we don't have a particular template for a particular application. We design that with you for your metadata needs. We're showing some enhancements to our web portal, which is called Exchange, that allows you to expose assets to people outside of your environment and allow them to check off QC or legal or approval processes, and the metadata all syncs back to your house production system.
That is amazing stuff.
So it's a lot of fun.
How would you I mean, clearly one of your customers is the large broadcast studios and large production companies that are doing multi-channels of sports. And when you're ingesting 40 HD channels, that's not a small company. But what would be a typical starting company? Who would want to consider PrimeStream for the first time?
Well, we're in the last 12 to 18 months, we're finding maybe what I'd call non-traditional broadcasters or maybe even non-broadcasters. We're now getting more into the corporate market where corporations are doing in-house video and it's gone beyond storing it on a hard drive or a single system, and they just simply can't manage that amount of material and certainly not metadata tag it. And they're even getting into the point of archiving things and restoring them. So we have a lot of customers now who have no I/O other than file transcoding, and they're bringing things in from cameras and cell phones and whatever and just trying to manage all of that. We also have a new product called the News Pod, which is trying to take newsrooms who are either still on tape, don't want to invest a lot in a large infrastructure, and it's kind of it's 4 channels of ingest and 2 channels of playout in a little box with newsroom system integration.
Now, integration is a tricky subject because this is some sophisticated software. What help can you provide customers who are trying to integrate PrimeStream for the first time? Are you working through third-party integrators, or is it being done through you?
We do both. We have select system integrators, and they're usually well established in the market. If they don't bring any advantage to us, we usually do a direct sale. We also have very close partnerships with several of the storage providers like Quantum, like Harmonic, and so we're pretty knowledgeable about that, and we also know what we don't know and can bring them in to help us out. I think, our advantage is our flexibility, so we spend a lot of time with statements of work and understanding workflows. We're not a turnkey system usually where we dictate how things flow through our system. So we like to use a very sophisticated scripting engine and our flexibility between the different craft editing systems, the different video formats we support. We like to think we can tackle kind of any problem.
And Todd, where can people go on the web to learn more about your company?
www.primestream.com. It's all one word.
That's all one word. PrimeStream, PRIMESTREAM, primestream.com. Todd Fans is the Senior Director of Technology at PrimeStream. Todd, thanks so very much.
Thank you very much.
This wraps up our third live show from the 2015 NAB show in Las Vegas, but we still have more to come. We have an evening special report, which is an hour of brand new interviews, stuff that's never been aired before, helping you stay current with the latest technology available from the folks that are exhibiting here at NAB. I want to thank our guests for today, Wes Phillips, the Chief Executive Officer of SmallHD, Joseph Nilo, the head of training for FXFactory, the inimitable Bill Roberts, Senior Director of Product Management for Adobe, and Todd Fan, Senior Director of Technology for PrimeStream. There's a lot more for us to talk about. Live shows tomorrow at 10:30 and 1 o'clock. It'll be the last day of NAB, but we still have very cool stuff to talk about. This is the Digital Production Buzz. My name is Larry Jordan, and we are live at NAB.
Would like to thank Debbie Price, our event producer, One Beyond for the cameras and video streaming system, Advantage Video Systems for the onstage monitor, and our incredible BuZZ production team for making all of these shows possible.
The Digital Production Buzz at the 2015 NAB Show was made possible by supporting sponsors. Shutterstock, a global marketplace for royalty-free images and videos. With over 2 million royalty-free HD and 4K video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. And by One Beyond, leaders in digital video systems for streaming, archive, and storage. Additional sponsors include LarryJordan.com, helping media pros find work, improve their skills, and keep clients happy.